Okay, I've already started sewing the limbs on, but before we sew the limbs on, we might as well make the little bands of color that go around. For the big monkey, it's actually a chain and then a stitch across the chain, and for the little monkey, it's just a simple chain. And then we take that chain once we're finished it, and the number of chains is determined by the width of your. So you want the chain to just barely fit from end to end. You don't want it to overlap, you want it to just barely fit. I'll show you how to do the chain and how to stitch across the chain. So just do a slip knot. And make sure your starting tail is long enough that it can be sewn into that leg. And you're going to make a chain that fits around the leg. And like I said, the number of chains will be determined on how wide your leg or arm is. Okay, so that's just barely touching. So if I was making this for the bigger monkey, I want to stitch across the chain. So I'm going to start with the second chain from the hook. So there's the first chain. I'm going to go into the second chain and go in. You're going to have 2 loops of that chain on top of your hook and 1 loop underneath. Pull your yarn through, yarn over, and pull through both loops. Go into the next chain, and again you can see I have 2 loops on top of my hook and 1 underneath. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. I'm going to do that right to the end of the chain. Okay, so I just got to the end of the chain. I'm going to finish off and leave a tail for sewing. So if I was going to put this on the larger monkey, on the larger one, I used a brown strip and chained a length and then stitched across that chain. But I'm not using that color. So for the smaller monkey, you just do a simple chain. You don't have to stitch across it. And it's probably easier to sew it on now before you sew the limbs on. So we just fit it around the bottom of the leg or top of the hand. I'm just going to join these two, and I want to make sure that it's even all the way around. Then I'm going to go in right through the leg and out through the front. I'm just going to put a stitch to hold it in place. So I'll bring my needle out the side of the leg, and I'll do the same thing there, put a stitch in the side. And I'm not pulling tight because it will alter the shape of the leg and the chain as well. So these are just light stitches. Now I can knot, just make sure that this is even all the way around. Now I can knot off these 2 ends. And I'm going to bring my yarn tail up away from that area. And the other one as well. And now I can pull on these yarn tails and cut them free.